Scratch Master here, DJ Slick here, and this is your morning trend, which is coming to you the kind compliments of Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. Don't forget Rick's Cafe. They are open every day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Last order has to be placed by 4:30 p.m., so make sure that you do that. An order from Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. Gotta say, top of the morning right now. I got two very good friends of mine, Barrie Hype and DJ Crown Prince. Good morning.
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 Afternoon from here, but yeah, morning.
All right. Well, first of all, Barrie Hype is in St. Lucia.
Yeah, I up the street.
People know. Huh?
I up the street.
You up this? Yeah, you right down the road there. And, Crown Prince is in a very expensive place. You know, he's
really
in
expensive right now.
Huh?
Real expensive right now.
Oh, that's what vocals sound like when they come from Dubai. Damn. Pricey. Yes. All right, gotta say good morning to you guys. For those who aren't aware, if you've been under a rock, but anyway, these are two very influential people in the industry. They also host the Friday Bong Show right here on Power 95 on Friday nights, Saturday mornings, I should say, early. So big up to Barrie and Crown Prince once again. I'm glad to have you on board the morning trend this morning. Right?
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and also Barrie Hype, I know a little history about yourself. You are the primary mic person for Private Ryan as well. You've been with him on countless of events, correct?
Worked on a couple, but one or two.
One or two. That's how you already put it. One or two. One or two. Yeah. All right. Let me start with Crown Prince right now. What for you is the biggest challenge during this pandemic?
At the moment, it really is just keeping the mind focused. I mean, we usually have enough distractions where we can get some work done, go do something else, come back, do work, go do something else. Right now, where there is nothing else to keep you distracted, it's just keeping focus is the biggest issue. And of course, as creators, you know, we feed, our creativity feeds on what we're experiencing. So
yes,
it's a little tough right now, but I mean, we're just getting through it, you know, one day at a time.
What's the climate like in Dubai?
Well, as of tomorrow, they're opening more things up. Our curfew is from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. as of tomorrow.
Well, Dubai has curfew.
Oh, we were locked down 24 hours, and then we rescinded it to 8 p.m. Then it was 10 p.m. To 11. So,
right,
you see, we're on a path of opening back up fully.
Barrie,
yes, sir.
What's the biggest challenge for you? I know you always on a plane. You could probably fly by now, right? Barrie, every time I call Barrie, he's at an airport. He's about to board. He's about to come off of a flight. What was the biggest challenge for you during this pandemic?
Oh, that's easy. Keeping my mother safe.
Right.
That's easy. I was like, I already knew the answer the second you asked Scratch Master.
Right.
For those who don't know, Crown Prince is Antiguan. I am St. Lucian. So I reside in South Florida. As you know, Crown Prince resides in Dubai. So for me, when I started to see what was going on in the space of the world and this and this, and then this country's closing their borders, I said, you know what? I need to get home and take care of my mother as priority number one. You know, when I got here, they didn't have the curfew as yet. Then they put in the first and the second. Then they went 24-hour shutdown. Then they opened things up slowly with a game plan in mind, obviously. So for me, that was easy. As long as mom is good, and everything else will fall into place afterwards.
Everything else, that makes so much sense. What do you miss the most, Barrie, with the lockdown?
Oh, wow.
What do you miss the most?
I miss the adventure of traveling from country to country. Every country, every city has that thing. So, for example, Grenada Carnival, nobody in the world can do Grenada Carnival than Grenada. That jab sound is super infectious. Likewise with St. Lucia, nobody could do Dennery. Likewise with Antigua, likewise with the other countries. That specific sound, that specific energy, that smell that you can almost taste in the air of what's unique to those islands and region-specific carnivals.
Well,
there's nothing like going to London, for example, for Notting Hill. It's the only carnival outside the Caribbean with 2 days on the road. there's no experience like those. And then traveling with Rupi obviously as his DJ,
Mhm.
there's no better feeling than showing up in a country where English is the third language, but they're singing "Tempted to Touch" word for word.
Right. That is interesting. What about
Very.
you, Crown Prince? What do you miss the most?
Um, to be honest, well, it's summertime, so I would be traveling right now, seeing you guys somewhere.
Mhm.
It's the time we usually see you guys.
Mhm.
But I really think the biggest thing I'm missing is just human interaction with, people, primarily strangers that, you
Mhm.
know, I'd see somewhere, we'd have a conversation. There's just that feeling, I mean, virtual is cool. I mean, you can see people, you can do video conversations, but there's something about speaking to someone face to face.
Mhm. That's
And
different.
there's also the fear of when is that going to be something that we as a society is going to be okay with again.
Right. Now I tell you this. I asked Barry. I had to ask Crown Prince some time ago.
Mhm.
What is the difference? Obviously, different countries have different cultures and different ways of doing things and different ways
Mhm.
of receiving music.
Mhm.
I asked Crown Prince at the time. I was like, Crown Prince, what is the difference in playing in Dubai, right, versus say the Caribbean? And his response, and I'll never forget, was, he goes in this deep voice already. Um,
Here we go.
he's like, Scratch. The difference is that when I play, I woke up in a new Bugatti. They actually have Bugattis outside,
Facts. FAX. Facts.
That's a big fact.
right? What I want to find out, because both of you are very experienced in the entertainment world, how do you see entertainment being after this pandemic?
That's the $1 million question. Like if we knew for sure, Scratch, that this would be over on December 1st,
Mhm.
December 2nd, I was throwing the biggest concert, biggest party, etc., etc. But the
Mhm.
reality is that we don't. So we are all adjusting and learning at the same time to the new norm. And it makes life so interesting because for example, the Versus Clash. The
Mhm.
Versus Clash came about because of the situation that we're in. So
Yeah.
all of us are adjusting right now to the current climate because
Mhm.
of COVID-19.
Wow. Crown Prince, how
I,
do you see it though? Do you think after the pandemic, will people be eager to go to events, for instance? Do you think they're going to wait a while? Are promoters going to hold back? I mean, what do you think?
I feel some promoters will. I mean, we all know some people are just party people. As soon as they know that it's relatively safe, they're
Yeah.
back in bed because, that's the true nature of some people. Some
Hmm.
people are more cautious. They wait to see what happens. They might come to the third, fourth, fifth
Hmm.
Fed once they hear nobody's, getting uh, infected of anything. But I feel the only way I see it, even once we get the okay to have parties, I feel the smaller parties will be the testing grounds. And
Mhm.
Hmm.
then a few months pass by, a bigger event, a few months after that, then we'll get back to the big scale true fets.
So
Mhm.
both of you, you don't think that it will be big scale right away then?
No, I think it will. I don't know if it will work long term. I mean, we see the videos right now in the US. It's Memorial Weekend. We were supposed to be there throwing events all weekend. And the
Hmm.
Mhm.
cities, it looks like nothing ever happened. Like these pool parties and these big clubs are
I
just
think
jam packed with people.
I think in the States, especially, because I spoke with a friend of mine who lives in New York, and he was telling me that people are literally, almost as if they're fed up of
Yeah.
what's happening.
Hmm.
There's a lot
Mhm.
of frustration going on, and a lot of the younger folk are like rebellious to a lot of the restrictions. It's like they want to get back to normal. Remember society now is different. This is
Yeah.
where
Right.
they're accustomed going out. They're accustomed going and eat here. They're accustomed going with their friends to this place and so on. And I mean, we saw the videos circulating with a lot of and this is not in the Caribbean, but obviously in the U.S. Memorial Day weekend with all the pool parties and so on. And when
Mhm.
you watch it, it's like that's what we used to do.
Mhm.
That's what it was, exactly.
That's what it was. But
I was
but
on the phone
at the
with
same time, it looks a little scary.
yeah, I was on the phone with a DJ in Atlanta this morning early, and we're just having discussions, and he played 2 gigs, and he said the biggest fear he had as a DJ, obviously, was people coming up asking for requests. That was his. Every time someone came close to him, he almost freaked out. He said, he was,
You
don't
serious?
talk to me. Yeah. I mean, you would coming out of this is your first gig back. You just know what we've been told throughout this whole thing. You're going to be nervous as the DJ because you're looking at people. You're here to make your money as a DJ and entertain the people, but you really don't want that interaction right now.
And
So
the thing about it is, right, when people
yeah.
come for requests, when the sound system is loud, they it's like they can stand up. It's like they had to come, and it's like sometimes you have to like obviously before COVID-19, you have to put your hand on your ear and be like to hear them, or they really have to come close to you.
Exactly.
Requests cannot be given unless they text you.
Yeah. Post COVID-19, DM me your request. Don't be coming to the booth and shouting. DM.
But how long do you think it is going to be like that?
Again, that's the $1 million question.
Only time will tell.
Once we know on the medical side of things that it is okay, it's clear, COVID has been eliminated. We've gotten rid of it, and then we're back to normal. Then yeah, but the reality is we're all in the same ocean on different ships. So our ship in the Caribbean, for the most part, and I use the word reported, in the Caribbean, has taken the necessary steps to allow us to be where we're at. If it's minimal, if it's no cases, again, reported, because we took the steps early. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a few doctors in the US who said that the first world could really take the lead from the third world on how to handle this.
That is so true, because in the Caribbean we have a lot less cases than the US. Obviously the population is different, so you have to remember that. But I would say that a lot of the Caribbean countries, from the time the first case was announced, action was taken right away. From the time the first case was announced in Grenada, that airport closed.
Yeah, I think there's a difference though, because with population size of government, it's easier for our nations to be able to do things like that, right? And we do have the advantage of being islands, where if we close the border, it literally is closed. Like, of course, in the US, it's such a vast landscape, and these states are just imaginary lines drawn in saying you're in one state and another, So logistically, it's easier for us to shut down and wait it out.
Most people don't even know that. Sorry to disturb your scratch. Most people don't even know that we in St. Lucia realized we had more cases in the north than the south. So they actually drew a line across the middle of the island. So just south of Dennery, south, we were calling it 759 because of the tip, because of the way the map is on the tip of the island. So we had a police roadblock, which was just after Dennery on the east coast, and and likewise on the west coast. And you had to have a good reason for you to be heading down south, and likewise those down south heading up north. If not, you were not allowed to cross the border. So we actually did, another step again of isolation to ensure that, okay, the southern bit is now good to go. Let's now work on the top bit versus somebody from up north coming down and affecting the whole south of the island. So we took even more steps along the way to ensure that, because there was a point in time when we were COVID free, and then we had 2 more cases, which they kind of knew through tracing that person was in contact with them. So it was just a matter of time. Yeah. So about day 14, day 15, those people then became infected, but they're already in isolation, which was good.
All right. Now, let me change gears just a little bit now. What are your thoughts? Now, I know both of you all love soca music. Soca music, you all are practically ambassadors for the genre, helping to push the younger talent coming out. I know, Barrie, you were pretty instrumental with Skinny before he busts.
If only people know that story. I met Skinny Fabulous, as in I was introduced to the artist via Scratch Master. Scratch introduced me to him musically, and then
Yeah.
subsequently introduced me to him on BBM Messenger. This is the days of Malibu and Pine. That's when he introduced me to him. That's virtually. Physically, the first time I met Skinny Fabulous is with the gentleman who's in Dubai. When we went to Walshy Fire's radio show on Mix 96, I did not know that Skinny Fabulous or Crown Prince were attending. It was Tedderson John, who was the Groovy Soca Monarch, first Groovy Soca Monarch king ever of St. Lucia, and Ricky T. The year is 2008. All of a sudden, this lanky, skinny fella coming with one hell of a voice. I'm like, when he started to speak, I'm like, oh damn, we haven't physically met. So the funny thing is that at the end of the event, Skinny did not realize that I was Barrie Height because Walsh's focus naturally was on the artist.
Yeah. And in that same discussion, me and Barry had a discussion, and we kind of tied up some like, wait,
I just WhatsApp him there. I'm trying to get him on this conversation, but I don't know if he's going to respond because he could be a late sleeper when he's ready.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Scratch.
Just remember, Scratch. Just remember, Skinny but sweet.
Yeah, that's why I want to get him on the call.
All three of us.
Yeah,
Skinny's claim to fame is he bust all three of us.
Yeah, he's responsible for our careers.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. What I wanted to find out, being that you're very much into the soca genre, a lot of you're well connected with the soca artists. I mean, your Rupees, DJ, and so on. What are your thoughts on soca all year round instead of just artists timing their releases for Carnival?
Ooh, Prince, you want to take that one?
I will start with that one. For me, I've always had the view of soca has continuously been year round due to different islands and different carnivals, right? Once, like, say Trinidad is finished, you're moving into other carnivals and other artists are dropping records. And I feel that's the fear some artists might have is if you're a Trinidadian artist and you drop a record in the middle of the summer, you need to have that release to be during one of the summer carnivals to get traction. Because I'm not living in Trinidad in the summer, so I don't know what they're listening to, right? And it could be the same for Grenada artists, could be the same for everyone. It's difficult to say soca is not released year round because technically it is, right? I've always took that opinion because Antigua's the middle of the summer, or towards the end of the summer. Grenada's towards the end of the summer. Vinci is late spring. St. Lucia is just when summer kicks in. Trinidad's in the winter. You have Jamaican artists releasing records now for their carnival with the attention that it's gotten. Everybody wants music to be played during Notting Hill, during Labor Day. Artists are releasing records for Miami Carnival. So then it goes full circle. So I think
let me interject here. I get what you're saying, Crown Prince. I agree with you to a point, but how about why? Okay, let me draw an example here, right? Now we know soca is not it's not tied to any one island. I get that. It is tied to it's Caribbean culture, right? And with the advent of the internet, social media, and so on, songs are being exposed to everybody at a more rapid pace, right? But at the same time, we have situations where on a local level, artists complain to some radio stations that they don't hear enough, right? Now my thing is this, especially for stations that are new music radio stations, right? When Vibes Cartel releases something, we don't have to wait another 9 months before we get another new record, right? Granted, Trinidad Carnival is over, right? That's probably the last carnival that we had, Trinidad Carnival, right? Because there hasn't been any. I haven't heard anything new from several of the islands like I normally would have, right? Like, I haven't heard anything new from St. Vincent. You know, it's like some artists have held back during this whole pandemic. But the point I'm trying to make is that I know some artists, they don't do this full time, right?
True.
And probably that is a challenge. And then Skinny was telling me, you know, there's a cost to, obviously there's a cost to music, but
Facts.
should we really, if we really want soca to get to you know, the next level, get on iTunes and all of that, do you think by just coming out waiting to release music for a competition like a soca monarch or for a carnival is killing the genre?
Well, let me hit that Soca Monarch argument. Soca Monarch, it means different, has a different meaning, excuse me, in every island. So, for example, Soca Monarch used to be super influential in Trinidad. Now it's not.
Not
Now
again.
they don't really pay it as mind. I know I've seen the videos from St. Vincent and Grenada, where it's a huge deal to say that you are the Soca Monarch of the respective year. And I get it, don't get me wrong. And I'm not bashing competitions, but a lot of times when artists write songs for the competition or their focal point of the year is the competition, all of a sudden you're missing the sweet element of their record because you're telling everybody, all who's supporting me for Soca Monarch, Soca Monarch, Soca Monarch, Soca Monarch. So I'm not bashing the competition. I just want artists to be aware that, let me give an example. Teddy John withdrew from Soca Monarch here in St. Lucia to focus on his own concert. And now he has something which is a major part of the St. Lucia Carnival calendar. You cannot be a genre and not be releasing music all year round. This is part of the international space.
Hmm.
Denry segment artists release music pretty often here.
Hmm.
Okay, they may not make it to the international space,
Hmm.
but don't get tied up. They dropped that record Wednesday, and that is beating the club Friday and Saturday.
And this is not waiting on St. Lucia Carnival. This
No,
is
no,
Facts.
literally
Facts.
end
Yeah.
month.
exactly.
Because my
Very
point is, right, if it is, say, Skinny Fabulous, right? Say that is my favorite artist. Because, you know, everybody has a favorite. Why is it I have to wait, you know, literally so long for, you know, for a couple tracks?
But I will respect this part that if, for example, let's draw a name, Wasways, Lava Man, Mr. Killer, you know, your full team of Grenada,
Yeah.
it is easier by far to release a record during Carnival because the energy of Carnival is in the air. The
Yeah,
focal point of the world is on Grenada. I'm looking for that record from Grenada. You know,
but
Vaughn's. Mhm.
the energy of soca is there all year round. We don't
I,
get excited about soca only at Carnival. And honestly, as a DJ, I remember when soca used to be the genre you used to play to. Wow. Anyway, I don't know. I remember when soca used to be the genre you used to play when you want to reset a dance. It
COVID dog.
wasn't the
the boy,
primary.
the boy have COVID.
Yeah. Now the body echo did the connection. I know. Yeah, but the connection just cough, boy. I remember when soca used to be the genre you used to play when you want to reset a dance, right?
Facts.
Because
Yeah.
you know, back in like I would say the 90s and so on, dancehall was more predominant than anything else. But that has changed,
It's true.
especially with the younger generation now. It has changed
Um,
big time. Wait, hold on.
that you? Who is it?
I can tell you. I'll just mute one and I'll know. That's not Crown Friend. It's actually Barry. Barry, check your connection. Oh, no, it ain't you. You good? All right. Yeah,
COVID dog.
COVID. COVID.
What I
Yeah.
will say is, more the established artists still follow the timeline of release for the
Mhm.
most part. But I find a lot of younger artists, they release records, they're letting it go. Especially in Trinidad, a lot of the younger guys are like, "Yo, there's no season for soca. We're going full stop." I'll give Eartha Niles that credit where he publicly came out and started a movement
Yes.
that said soca music year round.
Hmm.
Get a lot of young artists, and as Barry said, St. Lucia. I know the same thing. I get records from these guys all the time.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of more people doing it. But of course, as you stated earlier, some guys they don't sing full time. They have jobs where they're not going to take the time out to continuously release records. There's a cost factor, of course, to that too. Even though the process is getting cheaper, it's still not for a lot of guys, right? But I'm rather excited about the future because a lot of these guys that I speak to, they're literally on it year round. Of course, they have their record that they're going to hold for the season,
Yeah.
but a lot of these young dudes are just letting the records go.
Someone is saying on Facebook here, soca, however, is still the only genre where competition is the main focus. Hence, the reason why you don't want to release throughout the year.
That's true for some records. For some records, you could tell which record is a competition record and which record is not.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
And we can still. I mean, look, the most competitive genres that I know is dancehall and hip hop. That's competition 101. But the records that go out, they go out, they go out, they go out. So
and we're also the only genre that a record, you know, this year they love you, next year you're like, yo, like really that was your follow-up record?
Yeah.
And it's the only genre in the world that does this. Only genre. There is no other genre in the world that does
We're
this.
the only genre where our music is tied to specific celebrations dated on the calendar. So that's another challenge as well.
Yeah.
Through the nature of what.
Henceforth, why, you know, Tempted to Touch, you know, Rupee, Turn Me On, Kevin. We could go down the list of the international space. In the international space outside of the soca diaspora, that doesn't count for them because they don't subscribe to, as Crown Prince called it, the calendar.
Right. Boy, I tell you, it's very, very interesting. Last question, because we're running out of time. What do you think DJs could do to stay relevant in this time where there are practically no events and physical interaction?
If you want to stay relevant, output is key. I mean, that's just what it is, right? I have a saying that I used to tell guys years ago. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, two of the biggest brands in the world, but they still run commercials. They still spend their money on running commercials. They still spend their money and sponsor things because relevance is key. So your output dictates your relevancy, you know? And that's honestly how I feel it has to be. Somewhat. You don't have to do mixes every week. You don't have to do a live or jump on a Twitch or whatever all the time. But do something. I mean, that it's the key. Do something. Remind people that my name is DJ, whatever, and you love me. I'm going to let you know, remind you why you love me.
It's true. Right. Scratch. So at what age did you know, to jump on what Crown Prince just said, at what age were you when you first heard about Coke or Pepsi?
I was a kid. I was under 10 years old for sure. I can tell you that.
They still advertise now.
Yep. Yeah, they still advertise. They still advertise. Somebody is saying here that guys, they need to take the soca music as an industry and not a competition. But you see, that's a tricky thing because Barrie, you correctly said it. When Soca Monarch, which is the main competition out of soca, has a different meaning in each Caribbean island.
Exactly.
Right? It has a totally different. I know for me, the top two islands that I have witnessed firsthand, Grenada and St. Vincent.
It used to be a big. It used to be a big deal here as well. But to go along with that, if I years ago, for example, when Tedderson John was coming through the ranks, and I went to a promoter in South Florida for Miami Carnival, I says, "Look, a very good friend of mine, an amazing artist, who is the groovy soca monarch." You say that carries a level of weight where somebody can say, "Okay, cool. We're aware of there's a competition." So for them to say they are the reigning groovy or soca monarch of their country, I'm going to give them a listening ear. Now, not as much, but back then, because, you know, in every island it was a big deal.
And we know as well, winning a competition doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful outside of your carnival season.
Winning a competition doesn't mean you have the biggest record. Ricky T had pressure and did not win Soca Monarch that year. He came second. Little Rick had boy Bashman Tin Town, go down. He was second. He wasn't even first that year.
Right.
First that year was a record called Foot on Fire. You may know it, Scratch, because you're connected into the Barbados scene.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who don't know what that record is. You know, the record that won that year in St. Lucia was Kakal. People like,
Right.
who?
Yeah.
Wow. That is very, very, very interesting. Boy, I tell you, this music thing is something else. We're getting a lot of comments here on Facebook as well,
Sure.
agreeing with what it is we are talking about. Someone saying here, most of the new dancehall rhythms are very similar to soca rhythms as well. That's another reason dancehall is the new go-to to bring back energy in a dance as a DJ.
My thing is that and Scratch, you have witnessed this.
Mhm,
Is Crown Prince when he plays in parties? A lot of the time, it's genre blurring. Like we're in dancehall, we're in Afro, we're in soca, we're in.
mhm,
Where are we exactly? We're in good vibes. Yes,
mhm,
there are records that when you hear, you're like, okay, that is dancehall, that is reggae, that is hip hop. But a lot of the newer sounds are fusioning in between because it just sounds good, it feels good, but more importantly, why are we putting a specific label on it? So
Yeah.
is a rhythm that's produced, in Grenada, has an amazing jab feel, but has, to call an artist name, Vibes Cartel on it. Is it now
mhm.
soca or is it now dancehall? So the tiers and levels to it is let's just make good music.
Facts. And I would just to piggyback on that to a degree. Dance a lot of dancehall sounds like soca. A lot of soca sounds like dancehall as well, right?
I
I
think a lot of
think
dancehall songs like hip hop.
there's that too. Or they all sound like I mean, a lot of our music all comes from generally a lot of the time the same place, ancestral wise.
Hmm.
But now I feel that a lot of things are tying in more and more. And Scratch, we had a conversation about this probably back in 2009 when we were
Hmm.
discussing about different things in Super Soca, where we were hearing these dancehall drums in some soca songs, or hearing these Afro patterns in some
Yeah,
soca records. I mean, again, they all come from ancestry, the same place.
yeah.
Um, it's just now the younger generation of artists and producers are literally saying, "I'm just making music that I feel, and it's going to be this." So, and I feel it puts the music sometimes in a great place,
Hmm.
especially as a DJ, where you can now play a Charlie Black Party Animal
Hmm.
before or after a Marshall or a Cass record, and no one bats an eye because it's okay, it's just good music. It's about rhythm now.
I really wish I had a lot more time because Skinny just messaged me. He now wake up,
Wow,
but he told me
wow.
he needs 2 minutes. But I don't have that amount of time. You notice, right? I've been stalling with these questions, hoping that he would log on, right? Because yeah, he would get cornered this morning. I
Oh,
tell
Yeah,
you,
bro,
he,
problem.
he
bro,
would get cornered
bro.
this morning.
Actually, it's
But
beneficial for him, maybe.
Skinny is the master of
Hmm.
stagecraft, and he will find a way. As people said with the versus clash, Beanie is that person who knows how to maneuver his way through a stage. How many
Uh-huh.
artists would have handled it that way with when the police officers arrived? Only Beanie Man.
That is true.
So Skinny Fabulous is one of those. He be like, dog, what you talking about? Scratch,
Listen,
you's the one who
All
bust.
right.
We know the
guys,
character Skinny
guys,
Fabulous.
Well, I think we're
Skinny
going
Black
to get
has been
him live.
here for the last 15
I
minutes.
might have to break some rules today. Only today. I'm all for
Yes,
rules around this establishment, but I
yes.
might just Aruna, just bear with me.
Quick
Yeah.
and fast, fast and quick.
Yeah, he told me he's gonna log in. He just messaged me. He
Right.
said he's coming on now, so I'm gonna see how
No
that
worries.
plays out. Yeah, he's a mastermind of that. I'll never forget. I saw an event in St. Vincent where the police came to shut down the event. It was Carnival in St. Vincent. It was like a
Mhm.
breakfast party, so they had to shut down by like 1 or 2 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
He went on the stage, right? Small stage because it was an intimate setting, all inclusive kind
Mhm.
of vibe.
Mhm.
And Aruna say go through. Yeah, he was like he started to talk to the police in front of him. Not disrespectful, but he went through. Ah, boy, look him there. Look him there. Yeah. Hello, good morning.
You need- Hey, but-
Good morning.
King Mama Gaia, watch him.
Skinny.
Don't wake me up on my bed, you know.
No, I didn't wake you up. That was song right. I did not wake you up. I just said,
Loose. Sir.
Skinny, what going on?
I did sleeping, but you know,
Because I know what.
You know what? You had fed last night.
the original mine, Rodney Small had a birthday drink. So I may have consumed an exorbitant amount of
Oh, you had an
Beverages.
amount of alcohol.
yeah.
Beverages, yeah.
Beverages.
Mm.
I just wanted you to come on the live just to clarify one thing because I have to wrap up, right? Barry, I think you should carry on with it. I don't. I started talking about it. Go
The
ahead.
$1 million question is: did the collaborative effort of the three of us bust Skinny Fabulous, or did Skinny Fabulous bust the trio?
Right.
The world is watching.
The world is watching.
So you know, I could answer this from the jokey level, and I can answer it serious. Which one are you on?
Whichever one suits you.
Your name is Skinny Fabulous.
Your name's Skinny Fabulous.
All right, so let me add some seriousness to it. In terms of me entering into the US market and having the confidence to do things live and networking and meeting the right type of people, I will have to give Barrie props, and I will have to give Crown Prince props.
Right.
I used to be crashing by Crown Prince and thing, you know. On couch and thing just because I know that's what I have to do. And big thanks to the brother because at that time it wasn't as if he knew me. I was like a stranger that he took into his house.
Right.
Same thing for Barrie.
Yeah.
And then Barrie used to let me stay back because in them times it's not a hotel thing, it's coming up and trying to get on shows for free.
Right.
So, you know, they were instrumental in making me a part of the Miami scene, right? Yeah. In terms of me now, what me do for them? No. You know, right? I mean, that is as I do, like doing popularity and music is obviously, you know, everybody did when we call them that. But I know they have me. Now I for Scratch Master. I'm for Scratch Master.
Oh Lord. All right.
Talk the things. Let's scratch now.
I think you need to change your phone first before you talk such.
No, his phone have COVID.
Yeah. You on your phone.
I know, but you can hear me good?
We can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Listen, the biggest dub plate ever made in this whole world was given to Scratch Master by Skinny.
Right. All right, Scratch, you got you with that one.
Yeah,
no, yeah, but then
Your dub plate is the only dub plate I play in my set.
correct.
You know I'm not dub plate that.
boy, Skinny your phone. Skinny, I should ask if you change your phone enough. But anyway.
But Skinny is right because, you know, as you said, we were part of the journey to help him get through the gate. You know, my journey through the gate in Trinidad Carnival started with Skinny Fabulous.
Right.
Being a part of the journey down there, somebody had to play the tracks. Again, moving into the ranks of not knowing all the key players in Trinidad, you know, I'd be backstage with Skinny, and Skinny would introduce me to A, B, C, and D. So, you know, one helps one, as they say.
Yeah. Anyway, fellas, I'm glad that I was able to capture all of you. Skinny, big up yourself as well. Stay safe in St. Vincent. Right?
Scratch, you're not going to admit that I was here.
Like
Skinny.
Shell mix, Devin. You hear whose voice does dominate the shell mix? Yo, Scratch Master.
Scratch Master.
I don't have time.
Wow.
time though.
Him done broke the rules already.
You know, yeah, I can't even hear you. Anyway, everybody, be safe, right? Thanks for your time. Barry, thanks for your time.
Scratch run from the war.
Skinny, thanks for your time as well. All right.
Scratch run from the war.
I don't run. What? What happened, Skinny?
I said, tell me thanks for the bus, not for my time. Tell me thank you for the bus.
Anyway, this conversation is over. Fellas, be safe, all right?
Respect.
All right, indeed. That's a wrap for the Power Morning Show and also your morning trend, which came to you with the kind compliments of Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. And I tell you what, don't forget Rick's Cafe. They are open. Boy, Skinny. Good enough. Yes, Rick's Cafe open every day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right, they close at 4:30 is when you have to take the last order. So make sure you do that and check out Rick's Cafe. Aruna is coming up next, people. Stick around right here. It's Power 95.